Good morning, children of God. Not so foggy that you couldn't find us this morning. Yesterday there was a question mark about that, and Friday, but here we are on this wonderful day. And I found this and I went, We say this is what we want. When we allow Spirit to have its way through us, there will be no boundaries in our world. We will be one with all. Probably should have put an underline on have its way, yes? I think so. That's the area I'm working on. And one of the ways that we do that is we come together as we have this morning. Let's stand, join together, and sing in the silence.
Now is the time for the reading of the daily word, and the word today is motivation, and it will be read for us by Sharon. Sorry.
Good morning. Good morning. Today is Sunday, January the 11th of 2015, and it's going by fast. Motivation. I enjoy my journey to success. With my power of imagination, I see new possibilities for success and satisfaction. I hold a clear picture and feel Spirit energizing and leading me to positive outcomes. I am guided and empowered to do what is mine to do. I ask Spirit for the next step and listen intently. Swift currents of faith move me onward as I navigate over, around, and through any obstacles. I trust the power of God to lift me up and move me forward. While on the path to success, I enjoy the continual growth of my soul. I experience deep satisfaction in making progress and exploring new possibilities. My joy is in the journey. And through the scriptures, for the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with flowing streams, with springs and underground waters welling up in valleys and hills. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 7.
We're going to be going into prayer and meditation here in a minute, but I want to set the stage, if you will. You could look at your world today, and go, what? Right? There's a lot of things going on in our world that, from our personal perspective, is less than the good we know it to be. A lot of pain, a lot of anger, and a big one, a lot of fear. So as we go into our prayer and meditation time today, what I'd like for you and I to do is heal our world. It's not a big task. Well, it's big, but it begins here. So we can, during this time, set aside that fear, set aside the anger, set aside those things of other than the truth of who we are. And when we do that, our world changes. Now, it may take a while for the rest of them to catch up. And that's okay too. Because you see, the more often we take time out to affirm the truth of who we are and to give those words power in our world, the more often that occurs, the more often our world changes. Let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's rest in that, and we join with Steve. The Father and I are one. From your heart now. And having spoken these words of the truth of us, gently now, easily and effortlessly, we move into that place that Jesus called our inner closet, our secret place. It is that place within you where there is no question, there is no doubt. The Father and I are one. I breathe. And I rest. And as I enter in this day, I close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done. I close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day, and for one holy moment, I rest and I listen. In my prayers, I ask, here in the stillness, in the silence, answers come. This day, all my needs are met. This day, in this moment, I choose to reach out, to say yes, and to accept these gifts that come to me, knowing they come wrapped in love. I immerse myself in them. And as I do so, each and every cell of my being responds. I am rejuvenated, renewed, re-energized. I am whole and free. This day, in this moment, I remember I am a channel through which good flows into my world. In this moment, I open that channel and allow this good to flow through me, from me, into this room. Where these thoughts and feelings join with other thought of like mind and grow in strength and in power, peace, in strength and in power, love. Harmony. In this movement, touching each and every one of God's children. And in this moment, I am blessed. I choose to be a blessing. I allow this flow to continue from this place across our community, wherever that might be this day. Touching each and every one of God's children. Setting aside fear, bringing peace. Setting aside worry, bringing love. And in this moment, I am blessed. I continue to be a blessing from me, through me. Across our state, across our country, touching each and every one of God's children. flow continues around our world, touching each and every one of God's children, whether they realize it or not. We see in this moment anger dissipated by love, fear dissipated, peace. In this moment, I am blessed. I choose to continue to be a blessing from me, through me, throughout our universe. Good flows. Love is. Knowing that in truth and in spirit we are never separate one from the other. We know that somewhere, somewhen, someone is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, for in this moment, the gifts that have come from you, through you, are received in love, and I am grateful, and that gratitude swells up and returns to you. The circle of life, whole and complete. In this moment, I breathe it. I rest in it. I live for one holy moment. Knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, holding to this experience we have shared, we bring our attention back to this moment, to this time, to this place. And from our heart we join together and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, as for you, pray therefore in this manner. Those of you who aren't familiar with that, that's a start your engine moving. What that is. In case in the next few minutes I do that to some of your buttons, may I humbly suggest I didn't install them. My friend Dale Hoffman, I was watching him the other day, and he was on a stage similar to this, and he stands right there and says, I don't want you to be concerned. And I don't want you to be concerned. I know who I am, and I know where I am at all times. And where I am, good is, of what shall I be afraid? He said, taking half a step back so the rest of you can breathe. I know he's going to fall off, I just know it. And that's somehow, some ways that we look at our world, isn't it? There's the edge, I know it's right there. One of the things that we did a couple of weeks ago is we sent out letters, and then we did our burning bowl ceremony. And if you missed that and would like to participate next year, here's what I'd like you to do. Just write a letter to God. Dear God, hi, it's me. Write it, put it in an envelope with your address on it, drop it by. We'll hold it for a year. And then at the end of next December, we'll send it off to you. I bring that up to bring this up. I had a great conversation with an individual who opened their letter and said, it was so cool to see how much I had actually accomplished this last year. There were some pieces in there I need to work on, but overall, things really moved along. And it's because you set an intention. These are some things I'm going to work on this year. And you can forget as soon as you lick the envelope, that's okay. You wrote it down. There is power in that, just in the thinking of it, writing it down, saying, okay, what's next for me? And then take the next step into that, whatever that looks like. And part of it is what we talked about a little bit earlier in our prayer and meditation, is looking at my world and setting aside fear. And it's not easy to do when all of the talking heads in your world are going, blah. So tell me, Senator, is it worse today than yesterday, or is it better? Well, John. Right? And it drive you nuts. You just want him to say, hey, it's better today. How do I know? I woke up. Right? Now, I understand that makes for bad television. Theoretically. We need a little controversy in there. But I need to then translate so that when I see that, I don't drive myself crazy. Yes, there are things going on in my world that I have the ability and capability to change. Now, not behaviors of somebody else. Because people are going to be people. What I can change is what's going on in here and learn to express it in a new way. And that's what eternally here is all about. Think about it this way. God is all, both visible and invisible. This one that is all is perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. Perfect. Man is, therefore I am, one with this perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. What a great place from which to start. You're one with it. So if any one of those areas has got a challenge, this one is my favorite one. I don't know how to solve that. Anybody said that besides me this week? Okay, may I humbly suggest that we need to change our languaging. I may not have the answer in the moment, but through God, with God, through the Christ in me, the answer already is, and all I have to do is open to it. I may take to open a lot, because I may have to set aside some belief systems that no longer work for me. Here's one for you. I can handle it myself. And yes, you can, comma, however. I can handle it myself, however, I need to come from within so that I can see all of it, including the good of it. Sometimes that's really tough to see. I've come to the conclusion that when I look out at my world, it's easier to see the good in stuff than it is close to home. Sometimes. The closer it gets to me, the more challenging it becomes. Because it requires me then to say, ooh, Rob, this is on you. This thought that you're holding, that's not Jim's thought. Well, it is. He gave it to me for free. But no, that's not my thought. I'm holding on to that thought that doesn't work for me. So I'm going to give it to Andy, and Andy can work with Jim. And Andy just went, I'm good. But we buy into what others say to us, and it would be nice, we think, if I could just shovel it off and let somebody else handle it. And you can, but not in that way. The shovel off part is to know that you have the opportunity to discern the truth as you hear it and put it to work or not, and love the messenger no matter what. Okay? The challenge is that we think that that comes somewhere down the road. If I can only read the right book, if I'll only go to the right class, if only that perfect teacher will come in and give me that. Oh, I hit the button again, dang it. No. Because that's what? Putting it off. Down the road. Guess what? Right here. Right now. In this moment. Not later. Now. I read this one. I didn't use it today. You may see it again. There's only 2 days we can never reach. Yesterday and tomorrow. Because we live only for today. And that Christ presence in you is here now. Eternally here now. Before the world was made, I was there. Yeah? Read the book from get to finish. And the last phrase is, reread page 1. And I live in page 1 a lot. In the beginning. See, I have an opportunity each time in the beginning to rethink something, to put it back through, to put that process to work, to remember that what I need is right here, right now. The pieces that I need so that I can look at my world in a new way, right here, right now. I have to set some stuff aside. Us versus them. They versus me. Oh, come on, give me one enemy. Okay, I tell you what, you get one, but you can't go to the promised land, okay? Have fun is the other piece that's in there. Make stuff up. It's your world. It's your belief system, but you understand that you work with that one, that Christ presence in you that is here, right now. You have the opportunity to express it. We're having great discussions on Wednesday during our metaphysical Bible discussion time about purpose. Why are we here? Oh, because it's Sunday. If it were Saturday, you wouldn't be here, right? Why are we here? What is it that's going on? If we are, and I'll put the if, although I like the word when better, if we are perfect, then what do I have to learn? I already have the perfection piece, right? Well, let me ask you the question, and how are you expressing that perfection today? Oops. Maybe not quite so perfectly, yes? Okay, so there's a purpose for you. Figure out how to express your perfection. When? Today. No, you don't have to wait for another good book to come along. No, you don't have to wait for another good teacher to come along. No, you don't have to wait for the perfect class, although we have all of those available. What I have to do is make a decision that something that I'm holding on to that no longer works for me, I need to let that go. Something I'm holding on to, I need to let it go. One of the things I'm working on for me is no television show, no movie about anything portrays the truth ever. It's a perception of the writers and those people who are playing with it. And I get to buy in. This one at the movie Selma, and I saw my list of things to go see. I can hardly wait. Oh, while it's not historically accurate, duh. You make pictures about the Bible, how are you doing with that? Reality show. Oh, I don't know all the cameras are following me all around. I do this every day. Want some noodles? Right? Just perception. Stuff that shows up in our world that we buy into. And sometimes we go, isn't that great? And every now and again you remind yourself, this is all entertainment. For who? Oh, that would be me. But then my world is entertainment for me. Are you enjoying the show? And if not, guess what? You're the writer and the director. But you have help right here. When you bring it in through that light, we talk about that a lot. Bringing in through light, bringing light to a subject. Awareness is what that amounts to, bringing awareness to something. Take a look at it and say, okay, I can enjoy this without getting hung up in it. How important is it to me in the moment? I don't know if I shared with you, but this particular piece, I know I've shared with you a lot, but my daughter and I have wonderful discussions. Now, there are family members who say, we don't know how wonderful they are because you get kind of like this. And we do. But I taught my kids all from an early age, question everything. It's okay to question everything. And it's okay to express an opinion and understand that in discussion, my job is not necessarily to provide enlightenment. It's your job, because you're the only one who can enlighten you. Having said that, we then have these kinds of discussions. And she's been a world saver since she was that tall. She's going to be a marine biologist, but she didn't like to swim. And she said, I swear with a straight face, but Daddy, they work inside in a laboratory. Yes, dear, they do. But she was brought up to pay attention to what comes in. So she hears from one source, this is how the world was made. And then she hears from another source, oh, this is how the world was made. And what we have taught her to do, and hopefully you and others, is to take these two pieces and go, okay. That's their opinion. Now, how do I make my world? Right? That's where you start the eternally here piece. It's already there for you. You just have to decide, what does it look like? What am I going to do today? to repaint that picture of what my world looks like so that I may walk in it, live in it in a different way. Now, to do that, you have to have tools. Prayer is a huge one. Another one is what we call euphemistically the silence. We've all experienced at one point or another in our lifetime when we've been at the ocean or up on the mountain where you're just sitting there and you go, and you are absolutely at one ment. Yes? You've all had that bite, that peace where you were just right there. Yeah? Okay? That's with you all the time too. However, I have to have a methodology to get there. We talk about that methodology as being focus, as being meditation, prayer and meditation, to breathe, to rest in it. Because you can't describe it. We give it a name, it's the silence, but you can't describe it the same way we can't describe God. Why? It's too big. And to try to describe it does what? Limits it. And sets it over here. Oh, it'll be available for you later. And there are people in our world right now who say, if you follow this path a given way, when you get over here, then the world is yours. But you got to get all these parts right first. Who said? Some guy with a towel on his head. Or sitting underneath a fig tree. Great people. Comma. Telling what story? Theirs. For what purpose? For us to look at it and decide whether it fits us or not. So then I can take a look at things around my world and say, okay, that makes sense. Our scientists tell us that this earth we live on is millions of years old. But I have a book that says about 5,000, because in the beginning God created all, yes? And that's in Genesis, first chapter, about 5,000 years ago. What happened before that? Time to put parts together. There's a story, here's a story. Here come the parts from Rob's perspective. It took all of that time to get to the one thought that goes like this. There is only one God, one power, one presence. Took all that time, as we understand it, to get to that point so we could say in a book, in the beginning. And it took another period of time to get to the point where now we say, and you are one with that power. That resides in you. You are the one. And some of us are going, I'm not the one, I'm just hanging out. Okay. You'll get there. Why? Because it's just another idea that's taking a while to lock into your thinking, to lock into your consciousness, so that you can express it in the world. Again, providing purpose. But it's here right now. It would be nice to say, this Christ presence, our loving Father, Mother God, stands with us here this day. But to stand with me is to set apart. You stand with me today, and I appreciate that. But God, the Christ, eternally here, eternally now, right here. So I can't use that description. So I'll find another one. And the way I find another one is to come up with another tool. Because in order for me to express anything to my world, I have to believe it here first. So this morning, as we close, we're going to do this. Breathe. Breathe again. In this moment, I look to myself as I understand me. The picture that I see in my mirror in this moment, and to that one, I say, I love you. Together? I love you. Breathe. To that picture, I bless you. Together? I bless you. Breathe. I appreciate you. Together? I appreciate you. Breathe. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. I behold the Christ. Together. I behold the Christ.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.